Take a look at this mountain from Conker's Bad Fur Day. The more I think about this, the stranger it gets. First off, it's made of cow poo, right? And it's inhabited by dung beetles that presumably live off it. At the foot of this mountain, you can find a river that is somehow not contaminated with said feces. We'll take a look at the area surrounding this river later, but for now, I want to focus on the neighboring hill straight across from the mountain. A honeycomb cavern where the wasps live for some reason? This close to a literal mountain of shit? Like, this is probably the weirdest world I have ever seen in a video game. And that is excluding the other areas surrounding it. Which is why I want to check out other places that can offer weirdness in their own right, since I feel this game's atmosphere is kinda overlooked. With that, let's get into it. The first area on my list is one that I would consider kind of forgotten, because I sure as hell never go here after my first playthrough at least. It's up this ladder that I completely forget exists, even though it's on the screen, like during the poo pushing segment. Upon entering the dark tunnel, we are greeted with some comedic signs that state we are not welcome. We also witness 3 of the most overlooked and forgotten cutscenes in the game, since this area is probably only visited by people playing the game for the first time.
I think it's about to.
And then we're at the area that I wanted to make the main part of this section of the video, this bottom area. I haven't been here since probably my first time playing the game. This area kind of gives off the vibes that I had when I was a little kid, or maybe not just even a little kid, but whenever I went camping in the woods. You hear distant birds, a few crows, you see trees just enclosing in all around you. Also makes you kind of feel lonely and isolated. The only thing that's missing is really the water if you're close to like a lake or something, which I usually am when I go camping. And obviously there's way more mud here than I would like, but it still does kind of have that vibe if you ignore the federal bank up there. The interesting thing is that this area is one loading zone away from Windy, which is a way more bustling and active area. There's so much activity there. There's upbeat music, there's enemies, there's NPCs to talk to. Well, you can't initiate the conversation, but you get what I'm saying. But here, there's nothing but ambience, hints of life, but no actual sign or I guess visualization of that life. You can only hear life, not see it. The bridge also adds a sense of abandonment to the place because of its rundown state. And Conker decides to play Game Boy. What's he playing? Street Fighter or something? This also is the area that gets you the closest to the castle without actually going inside. Just something that makes this area feel like it has some level of importance when there is no practical need for its existence. It's not like you can actually get to the bank from this side. You can definitely try, as my kid self did, but no matter how you tackle this bridge segment, there's no way to get across. The only reason this place exists is to show you that it exists, which is kind of weird. Also, one last thing. The surprising detail in the textures for the walls here. The roots of the trees themselves look like ass, but the roots, they look surprisingly good to the point where the roots actually feel like 3D, but they're not. Like if you look close enough, you can tell it's just a 2D image. But the shadow and the coloring of the roots just gives it that 3D vibe. Kind of like an optical illusion, especially when the walls kind of curve in on themselves like they do. Also, feel free to share your thoughts surrounding these places in the comments. Maybe you noticed something I didn't mention, or you just want to expand on what I said. Whatever's the case, I would love to hear about it down below. For our next area, we're returning to our hub world of sorts, Windy. Now you might be wondering what could be so weird about this place. Well, in its current state, not a lot. However, after progressing far enough in the game, time passes to the point where the moon comes out, and I doubt a lot of people have explored this place during this time, which is what we'll be doing now, in addition to checking out other areas you can visit during this time as well. Did you know this was possible? Cause I sure didn't. It is pretty interesting seeing a familiar place in a new light, literally. The version of Windy that only appears during nighttime.
Yeah. It's night.
Now, windy during nighttime has lost all the lively energy that it has during daytime. The bees are asleep. I don't think they even make a sound. You can hear them sleeping. You can hear the queen sleeping. You can see the stars. The quiet sound of the river. I don't know if there's any other enemies. Like, are the worms still here? Pretty sure they're not. Yeah, because we just killed them. The additional light posts help provide a sense of ease that you're not in complete darkness. You know, the same vibe you get from walking home late at night under the streetlights. It's crazy there, you can also hear the pool that's rolling off the pool mountain all the way from over here. Quiet turning of the windmill signifying the passing time. I've always wanted to scale this windmill since there looks to be a platform at the top, but it looks like it can't, so that kinda sucks. As a kid, oh, there's actually other people alive, or awake during this time. They're not really people, they're dung beetles. This kind of breaks the atmosphere a little bit, but I didn't know these guys were around at this time of the night. Anyway, back to what I was saying. The feeling I get from Windy in this state reminds me of the times I woke up in the middle of the night as a kid. The isolating feeling of time almost stopping, along with the quiet air of the night. I would often struggle to fall asleep, as I probably watched some creepypasta and was scared of the dark. In those moments, I would often just lay in bed and listen to the sounds of the creaking house settling, and the crickets outside my window if it was during summer. Usually, I would have a tiny lamp on in the corner of my room, to drive away the darkness and make me feel safe. Similar to the way those lampposts I talked about earlier provide comfort. It also reminds me of, again, like we spoke of earlier with the mud area, camping. It's like late at night, no one's awake, it's just you. Maybe the sounds of the splashing from the river. It's again the sense of loneliness that nighttime can bring. And yeah, I haven't really taken ever time in this game to just pause and take in the atmosphere, which is something I've grown to appreciate a lot more when I've grown older, especially after having played games like Xenoblade and Persona and a lot of other games with nice atmospheres. Okay, so one thing I'm wondering about right now is what happens if I visit the other places? Let's try Barn Boys. Let's see what happens if I go in here. I did not know this was a thing. You can explore other areas at night? That's pretty cool.
Hey, buddy.
Wow, this is unique.
Spare me a dime. Hey, buddy.
I don't think a lot of people have seen this cutscene.
The big what?
It's sort of weird seeing this cutscene in this state.
She's lovely.
There's something so weird about seeing that cutscene at this time of day. Or at night, I should say. Like, normally that would be impossible. It's only because I'm playing through the chapters. These bees I hear. All the other actors are acting like I've never seen them before, even though, like, I would literally have to have seen them to activate the state. It's kind of weird, but also interesting. I can even go through in here, it seems. Yeah. Well, I want to check out Bat's Tower now, since I know these areas count that time of day. Isn't this weird? Oh, this level state is updated. And the money's gone. Interesting. I can bet you a lot of people haven't seen this. Look at this. I don't remember what you call these bugs, but the bugs flying around the waterfall, taking in the night sky behind said waterfall, having a chocolate, or not having a chocolate. You know, whatever suits your fancy, as they say. I've never seen these places at night. It's kind of weird. I've played this game so many times and never thought to try to come back to these areas after it's turned nighttime. all the music is gone. It's just a silent splashing of you swimming and jumping around in the water. Like, what happens if I go down here? There is music down here. I wonder, will the top of the tower be updated as well? Yeah. Whoa. This is a unique atmosphere. Okay, well, I just fell off and died. Look at how big the castle seems from here. Then we have spooky barn boys with the tree. The war area. All of it accompanied by the night sky and the howling of the wind. Nothing else. Well, I guess I'm talking money that insults you and some gremlins around.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
I don't think a lot of people have seen this, and that makes it kind of feel more special. Knowing that it's nighttime outside makes this cozy atmosphere kind of feel unique, you know? The candlelight. It also makes the light coming out of the like small window holes in the building kind of weird, or in the tower I should say, because that seems like sunlight, and I know for a fact that there's no sunlight. I just checked up at the top. But yeah, that's kind of interesting that you can explore these places even at nighttime. This whirlpool at night, it's kind of a vibe. Ah, spooky. The first new area you explore in this time of night, where you finally get to start blasting heads off enemies. However, have you ever taken the time to examine the odd details of this graveyard? Because this might just be the silliest yet moody cemetery I have ever seen in a video game. Okay, so we're now in the spooky chapter of the game, which does have a very different atmosphere compared to the rest of the game. It's, well, kind of spooky from the get-go, with the Grim Reaper and the lampposts and being the first area that you go to during nighttime. I never noticed the architecture on the walls here, with the Grim Reaper being there, the volcano lighting up the night sky, it seems. I think that's what that is, at least. And the little architecture detail on the top of the wall there, a little bulb. And I also never noticed that there's a little alcove or area that you can go over here and listen to the water. In Live Reloaded, this river area is totally different. Set with a blood river, a blood fall, and a whole lot less subtlety on the whole supernatural vampire thing. It feels way more full, which I think loses some of the more spooky quietness it has in Bad Fur Day. It substitutes the more lonely, creepy, spooky mood for a more in-your-face, gory kind of vibe, which was definitely in at the time, but I prefer the more simple design of the original since it has more to offer in terms of atmosphere. Kinda ambiguous with what the vibe is, if you will. Anyway, that's not the main focus of what I want to talk about here. It is this graveyard. Now, normally, you'd be, like the first time you enter this area, you're busy getting accustomed to the new shotgun, but after having done that, and you come back here, there's no one else here. There's no enemies, the Grim Reaper has left. But you still, like with the birds in the forest, hear signs of, I guess, the undead. Or abandoned children, which is kind of sad. It again, fitting for the chapter that this is in, gives off a sort of spooky vibe. Especially with the lampposts, the ambience. With the leaves fluttering around, autumn leaves it seems. The graves are kinda, well, very Conker, rare, like Mr. P stain. Mr. I be floppy. Mr. R soul. Mrs. IP freely. You know, they're silly. They're conky humor in a nutshell. And it sort of contrasts with the kind of disgusting nature of the zombies. Despite them not looking great for today's standards, they still represent something creepy and nasty. Walking corpses that you can literally blow off. Okay, wow, that's unintentionally kind of funny and I kind of want to keep it. What I meant to say was corpses that you can literally blow limbs and half their head straight off. Nasty stuff. Oh, here's another one. Mrs. IC Nuts. Mr. Seaman. Oh god.
What's going on there?
They're so bad. Mr. Seaman. It's dry, it's stupid. But it makes for an atmosphere unlike any other I've seen in a game. Especially with the night sky being kinda pretty. I mean, you could kind of tell it's a square skybox, but still, it's not bad. I think the main theme that all of these areas have in common, and is something that a lot of N64 games share, is their ability to create a lonely feeling from the use of distant sounds of life, but with no visual indicator of anyone close by. There's also the fact that almost all of these areas are also enclosed from the rest of the world, which adds an isolated feeling, excluding Windy of course, which does the same thing, just in the opposite way, where the bigger scale and lack of noise makes you feel alone, at least until you run into a dung beetle. Anyway, if you want more of this, let me know in the comments along with hitting the buttons. And if you want to learn more about this game, click one of the videos that is on screen now. One of them should be all about some oddities that I found on the game while researching for my challenge runs. Give it a watch if that sort of stuff interests you. With that, thank you for watching. This is a different type of video from my usual stuff, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless and have a great rest of your day.